Hi and welcome to Natural Aesthetics. In this video I'm going to give you a rundown of my current warm-up routine and give you an idea of the progression scheme that I use for my warm-up sets going into my working sets. Because this is something I see commonly done incorrectly in the gym. If people do too many sets for their heavy working sets, or not enough. Either way, it's going to hinder your performance in the gym. This particular warm-up is for dumbbell incline press, but as I said, it could be used really for any vertical or horizontal press. It's just a nice simple routine to increase blood flow and mobility, physically and mentally preparing you for the workout. If I'm nursing an injury or suffering from tightness, then I may include some wall sliders or some band rotations, which really help with shoulder mobility. And I may also do some foam rolling for chest and lats beforehand, any kind of soft tissue around the shoulder girdle. I may also do some weighted internal and external rotations on the cable stack, but more than likely I will do those on a different session or after the session, perhaps if I'm trying to nurse an injury. It's not something I would do all too often before. I find them slightly too fatiguing. So yeah, as I said, this is just a very brief and general warm-up that I use for the most part on every pressing session, and it just helps to mobilise key areas that I'll be utilising for the exercise that I'll be doing, to increase my body temperature slightly, increase the heart rate, and just kind of physically and mentally get me ready for the work that I will be doing for that first exercise. It's almost like a religious ceremony. It's always the same. There's very little deviation, give or take, one extra set here or there. And that's, I think, for me, the best way to do it. Something where it's quite rigid in terms of the structure. It gives me time as well to think about the work that I will be doing, kind of the warm-up sets that I'll be utilising, and, just envision the workout ahead, really. So that first section, I guess, takes 3, maybe 4 minutes or so, and then I move on to the actual bench and start performing the exercise with very light weights. So for the dumbbell incline press, I'll do the press, and I'll do some flies, and then I'll do some rear delt raises for the scapula. I find those 3 perfectly adequate for me going forwards into some heavier warm-up sets. I then apply some chalk. I find this really helps me to grip the dumbbells harder, especially on that kickback where you're pulling the dumbbell up to your chest. You don't really want any slippage at all. And even on the press, especially when it gets hard, you want to be squeezing the dumbbells as hard as possible. And for me, just chalk makes that a little bit easier. I just like to have that real secure, firm grip. So then moving into the warm-up sets, I start off with 15 kilos and perform 10 reps. These warm-up sets take about 10 minutes to complete, I guess, give or take a minute. So if it's the first exercise in the routine, then I'll do between 3 and 5 warm-ups. If the exercise is later on in the warm-up, then I may only do 1 to 3 warm-ups, depending on how I feel going into that exercise. I then go up to 25 kilos and do 8 reps. So a couple of reps less than the amount that I did at 15 kilos. So I always reduce the reps of each set. Then I move up to 35 kilos, another 10k increase. And I perform 3 or 4 reps on this, 3 reps. And then finally 40k, so only a 5k increase from the last set. And I just do a double prior to the working sets. The working sets will be at 45 kilos. The target 5 sets of 7 at this weight. So it would be slightly better than last week where I did 5 sets of 6. I then spend a bit of time putting on light elbow sleeves and kind of psyching myself up for the working sets. Also make sure the dumbbells are close to the bench so I don't have to faff around finding the dumbbells before I lift the first working set. So I kind of want everything set up and perfect before I go into that set. The working sets started off okay. I was fine with 7 reps for the first few sets. Unfortunately, fatigue set in towards the end of the 5 and I was only managing 6 reps, which was kind of expected, really. The reason for that was that I did overhead press the day prior. So I'd originally planned to train the day after. However, because of work commitments, I had to train a day earlier than I would have liked to. So my shoulders are still a little bit fatigued from the overhead press. It wasn't ideal. But at least I understand why I'm performing in a certain way. You have to be really analytical with your training. If you're serious about building muscle or becoming stronger as a natural bodybuilder, are you hydrated enough? Have you eaten enough? Have you had enough sleep? Are you recovered enough from the prior session? As long as you understand why you're performing in a certain manner, maybe you're missing a rep here or kind of flagging towards the end of the session, you have to understand why that is and then rectify it for the next session. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. Don't forget to click on the notification button to be made aware of any videos I upload automatically. Email naturalaesthetic@outlook.com for any info on online coaching. Stay strong.